Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Business Class. My name is Rachel Kahugu, and today again we come to you from Nairobi, and you're having an amazing episode today. Now, mnananga tu picha huko nje. Today we're talking about pictures that speak for themselves, and we are at Black Gold Production, and I am with the founder and CEO, anaitwa Peter Gishuki. Ati umesema anakuitangaje?
Gishuki wabisha.
Very nice. All right, thank you for having us today.
Asante sana.
Yes, and it's a beautiful place. Kunaka a good ambience. Yes, and we love it already.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I appreciate it.
So tell us about Black Gold Photography.
Black Gold Photography has been there for the last 6 years, and maybe I'd say 8 years, because 2 years ilikuwa two dreams before I got my first camera. So Black Gold has been there for 8 years.
8 years, yes.
8, yeah.
So the 2 years before you got the camera, what were you doing? Is there any process in between before you actually start actualizing?
Before that I was studying, but I had a vision and a grace of doing photography. So back in high school I was fond of doing a lot of arts. So after finishing the interest in photography ikaanza grow. So it started as a dream.
From art?
From art.
Okay guys, I'll be telling you about the art part of the photography, because we've seen a lot of what you do. It's not just photography. It has a lot of art in it. All right, so what does it take to like start a photography company like Black Gold? Because we've seen most of the people wanafanyanga tu photography zile za streets, twende shoot kidogo kidogo. What does it take to actually have a company that will bring income? Because you say business is more that meets the eye. Yeah,
it's true. So to start up a photography company, you must first of all do a lot of research.
Right.
And also before opening, you have to know, are you deliberate with this? Do you want to go with it until the end? Because it is a creative business, and creative business are run through passion. So the money cannot be there maybe before you start, so you need a lot of patience as well. So to start up a business company, patience, do a lot of research, and also hang out with people who shoot, hang out with people who have studios. Ndio ujue if kabisa you want to start this. You could enter a space uadmire too, but you don't know what it entails. So do that research, hang out with those people who shoot, and also passion. Okay.
So you've said you've been in this industry for a long time.
Yes.
So give us your journey from uanze mpaka mahali umefika sahi.
Okay.
So that as you're saying, people won't just look at everything that is in here and now like, this is what I want to achieve, and they don't know the journey yet. From uanze, what was the capital? Ulianzaje?
I started off as an assistant. I was an assistant for a pro photographer in Kenya, and after assistant, mi nilienda nikaambia my parents I want a camera, and at that time it was not possible from my parents. So my mom told me to contact my auntie who stays in the US. So mi nikam text model ya camera, and then I went back to my mom and she gave me a Bible verse from the book of Mark chapter 11 verse 24. She told me, the Bible says actually, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. I mean, nakumbuka nilienda tu nika scribble down and nikaeka kwa wall mali nitakuwa naiona, and then after like 7 months I was in town, I was in Arboretum actually, bado niki-assist. So my mom calls me, kuna mzigo wako imefika. So that is when I got my first camera, and that is how I got by faith. So after that nikaanza kufanya small shoots, and also when you're starting out, do a lot of free gigs.
That's another thing.
Do a lot of free gigs. Watu hawapendi, but you know, for example, you can call yourself a photographer, and then I come to you, show me your work. Utaproduce nini?
Lazima uko umefanya kitu.
Lazima uko umefanya some amount of work. So as you starting off, I did a lot of free shoots. just to gather portfolio and to know exactly mi naweza taka kushoot nini. Then from there, I just started to hang around people who shoot. Hiyo kwanza ni key sana. And then the other thing is just if you want to be good at something, you have to do it all the time. So hata kama huna gig, we amka kwa compound shoot, your neighbor shoot, your friends in church shoot, your friends everywhere shoot. So nime carry you along, and also networking, build your network from early on, and find the right group, and yeah, from there you'll start now getting big jobs.
And you start from somewhere,
From somewhere, yes. From there you'll start to get big jobs through your network and everything, yes.
All right. And now, because we know that you don't just do photography, as we said, that this is where pictures speak, and people know you from fashion photography mostly, among many other things that you do. So is there a difference between photography and fashion photography? What's the difference?
So photography is broad, and fashion photography is a genre. Just that you can have portrait photography or food photography. Sasa kuna fashion. Kuna fashion photography. And my style in fashion photography is called editorial. So
sasa mpaka kuna under fashion photography.
Sasa kuna editorial.
This is where research comes in, guys.
So with editorial, you work with stylists and makeup artists to produce not like just any other fashion picture. Sasa you're targeting like a Vogue look or a magazine look, editorial.
So there's a certain picture, to give an example, and I know you're seeing it right now. So this picture, inaonyesha this girl is, you can already see the emotions from the lady. Na anakani kama something is really happening and she's just broken. How do you just come up with a picture that speaks so loudly?
So what that happened, the girl is an artist by nature. She does a lot of digital work and also a bit of poetry. So and also did a little bit of this digital work, design. So akakam tukakane, then we started looking at the poems, and now we decided to bring the poems into life. And that's just happened, your creativity in Akamia. So like there was Anger. There was a series we did called Anger. So she faced a lot of like anakuwa angry because of the death and everything. So we had to bring it out to life through images. So unapata, we decided to portray like Anna grab something, her clothing and everything, the facial expressions. And also we used a technique called slow shutter that is found in the camera, where like picture inakaa wavy.
It's like you're moving.
It's like you're moving, exactly.
Wow, all right. So this is just to show you that photography isn't just photography. You have to identify your niche and go for it, and make sure that you are unique in what you do. Na sasa tukirudi atakuwa anatuambia how is he making sure that he is unique for photography, because as you said, photography is really broad and you have a lot of people who are doing photography. And because I know that you are interested in photography, we'll be getting into the 5 minutes tip, the business 101. Then we'll be coming back to talk more about photography and fashion photography in detail.
If you want to be a photographer, my top tips would be, number one, you just have to be very deliberate about this, very passionate about photography. Number two, just know that much more relies on you. With this I mean, you just have to do your homework well. You just have to do a lot of research on photography, learn a lot. Number three, your circle has to be photographers. Energy explained to like your circle has to be photographers. Number four, you have to shoot a lot. The best way to be good at photography is to shoot. And last point is trust the process. It might take time, but so long as you're doing the top 4 tips, the 5th one, you trust the process and all will be well. My name is Geshoke Peter Mwediga. You can also call me Geshoke Wabisha. I'm the CEO, photographer, head photographer, artist, Black Gold Photography and Arts Production. You're watching Business Plus.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we are back, and now you have the tips that you need to start your photography, or you scale up in the photography that you're doing, and just make sure that haufanyi tu photography for fun, but you identify your niche and actually do what you love doing. Say photography too, because everyone is doing photography out here, right?
Yes.
So, kama nataka to venture into fashion photography, and I've now realized that what I like doing in photography is actually the fashion photography.
Fashion photography, yes.
Are there any special equipments that I need? Ama ni camera too and I'm good to go?
Ni camera too.
Really?
Ni camera too and you're good to go.
Okay.
Because they say when you have one light, you are in business. And that one light is the sun.
Oh. True.
So when you have the camera, that's it.
Yeah.
So after the camera, na pia kuna squeezy kuna rental places, you know, to the many photographers who don't have cameras. Na maybe their friends are not willing to share. Kuna places in Nairobi where you can rent out gear for a day. You can go nani, like it's reliable. So unaenda una high equipment and then you go shoot. So for fashion you just need your camera and then a team. You need a small team of a makeup artist, of a stylist and a model. And you can scale it down to your friends. Unaweza ambia ule friend yako mwenye anajua kupaka makeup kuja pake your friend. And then ule mwenye ama wardrobe pia yake unamwambia get 2 or 3 outfits and then you shoot. You also need a mood board. A mood board is a collection of pictures that you'd want to shoot. Sasa pale ndio maybe during brainstorming with your team, unaambia you'd like to get something like this, makeup ikae hivi, wardrobe ikae hivi, and then pick a location and start to shoot.
All right. So it's just thinking out of the box and using what you have already.
Use whatever you have already.
Okay. And I've had a lot of people say, no, this tutajua kama it's just a misconception, ama whatever it is. So most people say for you to be a photographer or a fashion photographer, you have to travel a lot. Because this time una shoot huku, the other time you're shooting this other place. Is it really true? Or unaweza kuwa a fashion photographer who is specifically located new shoot to Nairobi and that's it?
The genre of photography, it's advised you travel a lot.
Okay.
Just travel a lot. Unajua pia if you go to say in the Maasai areas, Kajiado, and then you see how those women dress is like the beautiful African kikois and the beads. Unajua pia hiyo ni fashion, unaweza tell stories. If you go to places like Limuru, you'll find maybe, you know, wale wa Korino and the big turbans. Hiyo pia ni fashion. You tell that story, unaona. So it's advised you do a little bit of travel. And also pia kuna street photography. And there is street fashion photography. Pia hiyo unaweza enda mitaa unaangalia how people dress. And shoot them.
So it's just about telling stories.
Telling stories
and getting creative.
And also diversify fashion. Don't just shoot at runways. Ama very constructed mood boards na nini. Enda kwa streets, see how people dress. Angalia mtu venye anapea type of shoes to this type of top. Photograph that. Do a series. Leo sema the whole of this month nitaangalia how women are putting on capes. Photograph that in a series. fashion.
So it's just wide.
It's wide.
All right. And we say in business you have to make money, right?
Yes.
And we've seen most of the time photographers, it becomes very hard for you to identify what you need to do to make sure that as much as you're spending time, usikete na 10 years and you're just working for free. So itafika, at what point are you supposed to get such that you start making money from photography?
Okay.
And how do you go about it?
Okay. So you go around it this way. Once you've shot for free, edit those images, and then return them to your friends, and then tell them wakipost, wakutag.
Okay.
So you'll rely on, you do a really good job, and people will refer you. So wakikutag, just ule watakam, just start slowly. Now to kuanzisha karet card kako, you could start from 1,000 per hour, 2,000 per hour, ukiendeleanga hivyo. So that is one way. So hiyo tunaweza call it as the social media way. The other way too ni word of mouth. Just don't hide your camera. And also, but the best thing sahi ni kutumia ni social media, because I can say for you an example. Say you take a very good picture na wewe ni photographer, and then store it in your computer versus that same picture uiweke nje. So unaona yenye umeweka nje ndio poa. So shoot a lot and then share your work as much as you can. Sahi kuna TikTok, kuna WhatsApp, kuna Facebook, kuna Instagram, kuna Behance. Una share tu kabisa. And then people will start reaching out.
Okay. So let's talk about the location. Mahali tuko sahi, it's this is where your location is, and this is where your clients come, and ndio tumekuja. For every photographer, is it really important upon a location? You can just do your photography freelance. Mtu akikutaka, you can get me through call, and ama lazima ukuwe na a location?
Si lazima ukuwe na location. You can be a freelancer for the most time yenye utakuwa in photography. And especially when COVID came, a lot of businesses went online. So hata kama huna space, that's okay. But also there is a clients tend to take you a bit more serious if you have a space. So pia hiyo unaweza consider, but si lazima ukuwe na space. For example, like people who shoot wildlife. They go to the game drives, wanna shoot wildlife. Si lazima wakuwe na space. They can edit it from anywhere.
Okay. So what are some of the challenges when you faced from you started the journey of photography?
Challenges, I would say gear. Photography gear is a bit pricey. I also faced, say, time ya COVID, because nothing is moving. But the challenges that you always overcome. Because I remember during COVID times, now I printed out some of my documentary work, alafu nikaanza kuziuza. So challenges, not quite, maybe I'd say gear, ndio way inahinda sana sana, and then during the COVID times, it was a bit hard for me.
So I want you to talk to the people who want to get into this industry or are already in the photography industry and they want to scale up or just find their niche. Is it such a big deal to find your niche, or how do you get to understand this is what I love doing in photography?
Okay. So with that, inaweza take a bit more time to find your niche, and you have to shoot a lot. In the beginning, like nilikuwa na shoot everything, still life, food, portraits, shoot a lot, and then sasa utaanza kujua what am I interested in. Also go online, and then in online download a lot of images. Just okay, online, say on Pinterest, say search something and then download. And then in a week's time una recap, start deleting zenye upendi. And then tena download, and then recap, delete. And then after a month, you'll start to notice, oh, so these are the kind of images I'd want to shoot. So pia hapo unaweza jua picha zenye unaweza taka kushoot. Yeah.
What would you say about people who've done other careers and not exactly anything related to photography, because you've told me that you've done art, right? So is it that art is actually related to photography, or you can just do anything else then learn photography from online?
I'd say if you're in another career and you want to join photography, it has to be passion.
Okay.
It has to be.
Then how do you learn about photography?
Online.
Okay.
Just go on YouTube, kuna a lot of materials there. Actually up to date. I still learn, having practiced photography for like 8 years, bado na study. So there are a lot of materials hapo.
So you have to keep studying.
Keep studying online. And then the other thing is your circle. Your circle has to be production people.
Yes.
Huwezi kuwa you, for example, you are a lawyer and then you want to practice and do photography, but your whole circle ni lawyers. Wewe uta-stick to law. So you just have to just have to change your circle and then shoot together and shoot a lot.
Okay.
Yes.
So that has been Black Gold production, and it has been an amazing episode. So if you want to get into photography, go get your niche. And there's one thing that you've said, and photographers when you're watching this episode, you know what to do. Enter online, go get pictures, then after some time come delete, and after some time you'll get to know what exactly you love shooting and what are the kind of pictures that you love. But the best thing about this, you'll get to know what you love doing, focus on that, and after some time it will start to bring you enough money that you need to sustain you, and even now start venturing in many other forms, right?
Of photography, yeah.
Before we close up,
yes,
you've been working with corporates as a photographer. You've been working with different people.
Yes.
So how is it working with corporates and big people in other industries? Is there a way that you have to handle them, or how do you go about it?
In the corporate world, in the commercial world, there are very minimal margins of error because you're working with huge teams.
Yes.
You're only handling photography, and there's a department handling hair and makeup. There's a department handling design. So if you fail your department, you've failed everyone. So ukifika pale, you just have to do a lot of homework. For example, when I get an assignment from a commercial client, I do a lot of research. It could be a brief, nimepatiwa a brief within 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks, I'll just do research and plan everything. Yes.
All right. So this has been the Business Class. Now you know what to do, and it's time for you to get into business, because we say business is more than meets the eye. Remember, we'll have a repeat of the same on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Do not miss, and talk to us as well on MBCI TV Facebook page. This is Rachel Kahugu. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.